Hello everyone, welcome to Cornflower Crafts. Corn here, and I thought we'd just hang out in the craft room for a little while. I know it would probably be great if I had a set thing like I used to do. We're going to do tags, we're going to do pockets, we're going to do this, but for this journal that I'm working on for my next handmade giveaway, I wanted to do things differently. I wanted to challenge myself. Well, first off, if you're new to my channel, thank you so much for being here. And for my new subscribers, bless your heart, I sincerely appreciate that. Thank you for being here. You're very welcome. And most of you know who've been with me a while, when it comes to stamping, I stink on ice. I'm really not that great. And I know a lot of people are like, Corn, what's your problem? You just ink up a stamp and that's it. No, I have the stamping. I have 2 different stamping platforms that I've gotten over time. And I'm still not good. You know where you're stamping 3 times and it's okay? I'm better, but still not great. But I told myself, you're going to stamp this time. You're going to be stamping. You're going to be getting out your alcohol markers. You're going to, do things you haven't done before, like the index cards for my journaling cards. That was so much fun. That was a great time, to be honest. And so, here's what's happening so far, guys. I kind of overdid it, I think, which is, I have a tendency to do that. Even though I've got, you're going to have 2 signatures and you get to split it up, so it won't be too bad. I've got a lot of paper in here versus cardstock, lots of paper to write on. But at the same time, I have a group of stuff over here to the left that I made to go in it. And stuff is still waiting to go in it. And I'm like, because it's that fat already. Now, I'm one of those, my personal journal, I love alligator mouth. I had one, a journal made for me, Dawn H Creates, and Dawn made one almost all about rabbits and bunnies because that's my thing. And it's definitely alligator mouth, and I love it. I just, because it's just so full of goodies and fun stuff, And on the front of this, guys, I was going to do my fabric flowers with the bees, And the more I thought about it, the more I thought, uh-oh, because they're pretty thick. Because remember, normally with my fabric flowers, I put a button in the middle. And I'm not talking like a button. Let me see if I still have some up here. Yes, I'm talking about this kind of button where, this is going to be in the center of the flower. So, that takes up some room. It takes up, it's not flat. Let's put it that way. And the more I thought about it, I heard Natasha from Treasure Books. I'm sure you all know her. She's extremely popular. She is such a sweetie. If you don't know her, I'll link her down below. I'm pretty sure everybody on my channel knows her, but she is fantastic. And I didn't know I did that. I must have put something in here while the ink was still wet. Well, that's not fun to see. I'll fix it though. But she was saying that when let's say you wanted to write on here, to keep it as flat as possible would be the best, you know what I mean? Because then you're writing like so. So I was like, oh man, there goes my fabric flowers and the bees. But I think it's a great idea. I think it's a wonderful idea. Natasha, the reason I like Natasha so much is she's a great teacher. A very, very good teacher. She shares her knowledge, and she also says how important it is to keep it your own. And I agree with that 100%. You know, keep it yours. Don't, you know, it's nice to get ideas from others. It's a lovely thing that they share, and you know, we all get ideas from each other, but make it your own 100%, because that's where your creativity comes in, you know. I have had other crafters tell me before, you know, Corn, do this, don't do that, do this, and I personally disagree with that 100%, because that stifles creativity. Do your thing. Do it. Sometimes you have to do things that don't go, you know, with the rules as far as creating something. But it is just that. It's your creation. You know, don't let anybody tell you how to create. It's yours, and yours alone. If you share it with others, that's one thing. But let's say you're taking an order. Now, if you're taking an order and the person who's paying you to make a journal says, I want it to be this, 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 and this, okay? It's just like when I used to do portrait work. To me, fine arts, don't tell anybody how to draw or paint or do. To me, that's like a huge no-no. But when I was taking, you know, when I had specific orders from people, I had to do what they told me to do, you know, because I was getting paid. And I did that for a while. But I told Handsome, and I think I might have shared this with y'all before, I don't know. This sounds horrible, but I told Handsome, I said, I felt like I was selling myself. He was like, what? What are you talking about? And I said, well, this is before I knew him. And I said, because there's so much of me. There is so much of my time, you know, my creativity, my choices, my everything in my work, that I had a hard time with that, to be honest, because it's kind of like buying a little part of me, if that makes any sense. So anyway, all of this to say, we're back chatting, as you can tell. I do hope to get some things done, because I haven't even sewn them in yet, my signature, because there's one or two things that I might even do over. You all know I've had a few boo-boos on this one, because I am trying to branch out, and I think it's great when we make mistakes, even though it's frustrating, but we learn from them. And it's like, okay, how can I fix this, if I can fix this? And remember, this is my second cover, because I couldn't fix my first one. I kept on and on and on trying. I did everything I could, and it just wasn't working. So I have made a few boo-boos, and one of the things, let me see if I can find it, I can share it with you guys. Let me see here. This one. Okay. This is just paper. Okay, this piece. And I was just so excited about putting this daisy there. This is a Martha Stewart punch. I punched it twice, and you know, when you do that, you can give it still stays flat, but you can give it some dimension about pulling up the first petals, you know, on the top. And so I just kept going. You know how you do, you just keep on. And, you know, then did this punch, the scallop circle, and I wanted the pollen, you know, the bee going to the pollen, because the pollen, to me, is like gold, because they help us with food. We help them with planting. I mean, it's a lovely relationship. And when I did that, though, check out the paper. It got so warped, because it is just paper. It was fine until I put the gold stickles on there, and that's driving me a little bit cuckoo. But I think I'm going to leave it, because in a way, I like it warped a little bit. I don't like it warped too much, but I like it warped a little bit. So I'm thinking about keeping that like it is. What else was in here that I thought one thing we could do today is maybe do one of these, which is just basically coloring. I did it in blue, and somewhere around here is the pink one. I did it in several colors, but I wanted to do a purple one too, and I thought maybe we could do that together. It's in there somewhere. Let me put this aside. And I was thinking, I did pull this because I was thinking, this is part of that trim a lot of us got at Hobby Lobby. These wonderful flowers done in trim that it's on, hoot nanny do. Tool. And you can just cut them out so easily. And I was thinking, since that's flat, and not only is that flat, but you could squish it even more, I'm thinking about maybe dyeing that, like I did let's speak about the dyeing thing. It upset a lot of people that I didn't have gloves on when I was dyeing our laces. Remember our laces that that video? All my life I've worn the gloves. They're blue and they're pretty tight, and I've worn them for many, not all my life, that was me being dramatic, but for many, many years, because I paint the houses, I paint walls, I paint furniture, I paint, so, and when I dye things, when I've made videos in the past, you'll see me in gloves. Well, part of me wants to be a little bit freer when it comes to my painting and my dyeing and my, just like I said, just the challenges I made myself go through for this journal. And so to me, it was like, no gloves. You're taking the gloves off, Corn. Well, by doing that, a lot of you all, kind of laughed at it, and were like, some of y'all were shocked. How long did it take for the ink to go away, and really upset and stuff like that. Some of you asked that because you weren't shocked, because you had done it without gloves too and had a hard time removing the ink. I had answered that in my comments, but I'll answer it here too. First off, like I said, I thought it was kind of cool that my hands were blue, because I asked Handsome, he's into comic books and comic book characters, and I knew that was the name of one of them, and I asked him when I showed him my hands, and he said Mystique. Mystique's blue. So anywho, I'm one who washes my hands a lot, even before the pandemic, a lot. And so by that evening, by me washing with liquid soap, and then I do have regular soap upstairs, and that's where my craft room is, and then I use that too, a bar of soap. But by dinner time, it was, like 90% gone. So that's how it didn't stay. But I thought it looked really cool while I had it. I liked it. So, like I said, let's do this first. And part of me is saying, as fat as this has gotten, stop making things. And I will, after I do a few more things, because there are still a few little spots that I just want a little something on it. You know what I mean? I don't need this, like a huge envelope or something else to write on or anything. I just need a little something for decoration. And what I had done was this piece of 12 by 12, you can see, I think it was a project I did and gifted to Annie that I did one of these on. And I had looked at this piece of paper, and I always thought it was so pretty with the metallic gold on it. But I was like, I think this never thrilled me. The vine, and you all might love it, and if you all love it, I think that's great, but it never did it for me. So you can see. So what I ended up doing was just cutting out, I tried to use it, but I was like, no, I just don't like it. So what I do is I just cut out these flowers and color them with my alcohol markers. And I thought maybe we'd do one together here in the craft room. And These scissors are by Martha Stewart that I've had for years. And I absolutely love them for fussy cutting all these little things that I do. And isn't that pretty? And actually, with this being metallic, even if you get outside the line, except if you get outside the line here, you can cut it away, but it doesn't show that much. Does that make any sense? I apologize first for the looks of this. I will clean my mat up after this project. This project, I tell you. Part of me keeps going on and on, I think, because, oh, that's great. I have stuff in here so tight that it took the top off. Oh, that's funny. Hold on here. This is one of those containers I got from Dollar Tree. And I just pulled, you know, the colors that I wanted to work with and stuck in there. And that was so tight up there. I'm going to try to do this so that you can see what I'm doing, but remember, with my eyesight, we'll see. Okay. And as you see, I got them on clearance, and so I'm going to do it in lavender. And I did pull these. These are the Ohuhu alcohol markers, and you can get those on Amazon. I got them a couple of years ago when they were on sale. I don't know if they have these sales from time to time. That I'm doing the light one first. And I know that a lot of my subbies love the color purple. And all colors there. I have lavender, periwinkle, you know. Periwinkle blue is not blue. Bluish. Definitely has a lot of red in there. Now, people will do their alcohol markers differently when they're coloring because they will see their flowers differently too. Some will highlight at the bottom. There is a glare on this, so that's why you saw me doing like so. I highlight the bottom because that's the way I've got the light hitting the petals, you know. And I have a tendency to do the veins a little darker on the petals. How's everybody doing today? Is it a good day? I hope so. I know we all have good and bad in our lives. It's just a matter of what we concentrate on, isn't it? And yes, I like to do individual petals. I tell you, this journal is one that I wouldn't mind having. Flowers and bees, and we do have some butterflies in there too because of the pollinators that they are. They pollinate also, but they don't. The best pollinators are our bees because they get that pollen all over their bodies. All over their bodies. How cool are our bees? Thank God for bees. I do. I personally do. Plus, I really like them. I think they're precious. And yes, I've been stung off and on my whole life. Handsome used to say when we had wasps in the front of the house, not tons of them. It was just a couple of moms, you know, with their nest, and I got stung because of paint, you know, and everything, and I would have to tell them, you go over there, I'm going over here, you know, I'm not messing with your home, you know, and they would sting me. And I'd be like, and Hanson would be like, Corn, why are you putting up with that? And I said, because they're mothers. They think I might hurt their kids, and I don't want to hurt their children. So, yeah. They can sting me if they want. And he was like, oh, Corn. Wasps. But anywho, back to pollinators. I learned this yesterday. I didn't know that our butterflies could see the color red. They said bees can't, but butterflies do. How cool is that? I was like, are you kidding me? I didn't know that. Now, some of these I like even better because these have, you know, this end, your fine, and then what they call your broad. I hardly ever use this. Mighty does, one Mighty R does, because he's a fine artist. Because if he has a section that needs filling, he will use that side. I don't. I like these because these have a brush. Ooh. And you can see how tiny, you can get in a teeny tiny lines with this. I love those. I think those are from Tuesday morning, but a few years back. That's the bad thing, because I think if I was watching me and I'd be like, oh, cool, I'm going to get some of those. Oh, that was years ago? Great. I can't get them anymore. I come out with a little darker with the veins. And sometimes I just bring them out a little bit like that. And just leaving the highlights on the ends of the petals. Color-wise, it looks like I'm doing a pansy, doesn't it? Although that's not a pansy. You don't want your line to be straight. You want it to be anything but. You can do the curved part up there, but you don't want it straight. I hope that's showing up. And this cardstock, I don't know where I got this or what pad this is from. This is from a paper pad. But remember, I kind of pull mine apart and donate what I'm not going to use, and then try to put, you know, like this is in a neutral color, this is purple, this is pink, you know, that kind of thing. And I'm going to get this a little bit, yeah, because normally I have a few spots that I miss with these eyes of mine. And it's usually right at the edges. Alrighty. Let's put those back here. And then fussy cut this little baby out. And guys, I hope you can see it because I'm going to have to get close. There's just no way these eyes are going to let me do it otherwise. And I can't get up to see, you know what I mean? To see if you can see. I'm hoping. But my first, I guess 4 years ago, I'd gotten, I forget who put them out, these little pink, very sharp scissors that Tuesday Morning used to put out. And that was my fussy cut ones. I mean, I only wanted those. I thought I would never ever want another pair of scissors to fussy cut with because they were just so sharp, and they were larger than these, not huge though, and just so yummy. And then Tuesday Morning put these out, the Martha Stewart ones, and I was like, oh boy, now I'm a goner. And then we have this. And what I did, one thing I got, I didn't share with you guys. Let me show you. Let me show you what I got now in the craft room. It's so much fun. Whee! The Sidekick by Sizzix. Isn't that darling? Yeah, I got me one with my, look at this. This is a brand, well, not brand, well, new to me. It's, well, brand new, yeah. This plate is, Amazon had them on sale, was it 2 weeks ago? And so I was like, I wanted one of these for some time because so many times I have, my die cutting machine is the Gemini, but the large one, I was one of the very fortunate people to be able to get that from Hobby Lobby for 75% off. And I just could not believe it. I think they had like 3 machines, and I was able to get one of them. And I've had that 3 years. And for 1 year, I didn't even use it because I was so into fussy cutting. I was like, this is what I want to do. But then I got some great dies from Tuesday Morning. I was like, oh, okay. But to me, the reason I got this, number one, like I said, it was on sale. Number two, I wanted to do, I do so many small dies, like, let me see, I even have one on the desk. That one. Now for me, just to want this on one of my pages, to put this through that large die cut machine, and it's, you know, electric, and it's great, don't get me wrong, it's a great machine, but I was like, Hanson, it just doesn't make any sense to me. So I have done, you'll see quite a few die cuts in here on the new dies I got from Hobby Lobby for 75% off. The hauls I did, well, quite a few of those dies are in here because that's why it looks so horrible. Look at that. Because I did them for the journal. That's not one of them, by the way, but a lot of them are in there. And one of the ones I did, or the leaves for this, let's see, for this flower we just did, these guys. And I also, well, I keep cutting them off for other things, but yeah, there's the die cut. And they go great with these flowers, you know, like Sue, and like Sue. You know? That little sidekick, oh boy, has that, it's just boom, boom, it's done. I'm not going up in the hallway and putting things through that big machine. I mean, sure, I've got dies that'll only, because you know, as you see, those plates are so tiny, you can't put, you know, anything. Let's see, what is it? Are they, I think they're 3, no, it's about 2.5 inches. Oh, wow. Yeah. So, I thought it was 3. I guess I'm wrong. So you've got to stay tiny. And so that's when I started grabbing my tiny dies that are usually, you know, I try to, you know, you try to fill up as much as you can on your plates, you know, so that when you run it through, but with this, it's like I only need this, like this. This paper, and it's paper, not to cardstock. This paper is from one of the ones y'all saw me get from Hobby Lobby online some time ago. And I was able to take this tiny little, you know, nesting die that looks like a honeycomb and put the bee in, you know. Let's do that while we've got the bee too, while we're together. Let's just do stuff like this. Let's see, let's go back to this one. Don't watch me. It's so tightly packed. Ah! Okay. I was going to say, watch me pull that off again. The brush side, like I said, I love this brush. The brush is wonderful. Let's do his little yellow heel. See, it is such, when you're dealing with brushes, you can get teeny, tiny, teeny spots. Again, this is an alcohol marker, and that's the name of that one. And then what I've been doing with those is then take my wild honey, distressed oxide. Let's see if I've got any. Let's see, it's getting older, so it should have some in it. Yeah. And just going around them. Now the thing about alcohol markers, if you don't use them already, you're going to get that on the back, but if you're going to attach that to something else, then it's no big deal. And what I do is I do blot this because I like the honey. I love the wild honey, but I like it not too strong. Interesting story about honey. I used to eat honey, you know, that you got at the stores, all my life, especially on homemade biscuits. Oh, baby. Honey on biscuits. Yum, yum. Especially my grandma's biscuits. Lord have mercy, that's good. So, no problems. You know, I didn't have it a lot, I'll be honest with you. It was kind of like a luxury around where I was, but we had it. And then when we, after I had our daughter, we moved to, when she was 3, we moved to Germany. And while I was in Germany, we had a lovely neighbor who knew us as the Americans in the village. And he came to see us and presented us with a pot of honey from his bees. And this is, you know, this is just straight from the bees, right? So I am so excited. Now, I made biscuits, but I'm sorry, they weren't homemade, you know what I'm saying? They came from Pillsbury and I. And I sat down. And I was so excited. I was like, this fresh out the oven. So you've got a nice hot biscuit, right? And I'm slapping this, what I call real, 100% honey. You know what I'm saying? No, nobody's messed with it. It's the real stuff. And I took 2 bites, maybe. And I said, uh-oh. My throat started closing. I know. As you see, I'm fine. But I had no idea. And I don't know if it was because it was not refined or whatever. It was just pure honey. or if it was because my body chemistry did change quite a bit after having a child. I don't know if you all have had that experience or not, but I did. And so whenever I think of honey, I always flip back. Isn't it funny how your memories go? I just always flip back to that and being so excited. But our daughter and Handsome had a blast with that jar of honey. They said it was delicious. It was really, really good. Oh, speaking of my dyes from my little sidekick, that's one of the things I did for one of my, I thought, well, when we get a white page, like so, and then do something different for the pollen inside of that, that kind of thing. So I had a lot of fun. That's one of the new dyes. Let's go through and let me see if I can show you some of the new dyes. That came with the sidekick, the stamps, and then I did the alcohol markers, colored it in that, and the stamp and the dye. That came with the sidekick. So did this heart one. That came. And this little leaf, stem, and flowers, that is a new 75% off dye. Let's see. This, you all might think is interesting. This came from wrapping paper. Mimi, or by Mimi with Love, Melissa, I wrapped her winnings, and she won the last giveaway, and I was like, oh, well, that would be great in the journal. So, and I'm going to have a bee coming, and then maybe mess with the inside. That might buckle on me, too. No, those guys didn't come. And that's a stencil behind there. Hold on. Let's see. There's another one. And then I went ahead and put this, I had 3 different dyes in that 75% off dye set for the butterflies. And so I did these 2. And I put the white flower in there, paper flower, and then the center, because the pollen's so important. And then the one, that's a Tim Holtz one that I got. You can see some things are just tucked in there for, put this in later, glue this later. I showed you all that one already. That dye is from EK Tools, I think. Oh, this is one of the dyes, the 75% off ones. Love it. Absolutely love it. Thought that was gorgeous. Lots of bright. Oh, there's the pink one. See, just like we did in the purple. There's our pink one, which I thought matched this paper perfectly. And it's just paper too, so, not cardstock. And there's another one. Isn't that gorgeous? I just love them. They're just so pretty all by themselves. They don't, you could bring out your alcohol markers. You could put veins, and you could shade them. You could, there's so much you could do, as you all know. But, trying to think. Oh, this one, I was tickled to be able to do this. I think I got that one on the sidekick and cut it out, I think. I've been working on this for a while, remember? Can you tell? Oh, these guys. When you see me doing the corners, usually these are put in the corner of your pages. But I thought, how fun would it be to put something in them? I did that on several of them. And those corner dies are 75% off. And you can write on the back. I think, especially since there's so much black and white in this, I think to have a black pen, to do most of your writing on that would be fantastic. There's the boo-boo one. Oh well, like I said, I'll probably leave it because I don't mind it too much. The 1, 2, 3, and these butterflies come from the 75% off. The 1, 2, 3 is Tim Holtz. And Handsome said, honey, this would be great to learn if they've got a little one. Honey, how many butterflies are there? 1, 2, 3. There's the blue one with I think you all know I showed you all the stamp in the last time we were up here talking about this journal together, and just fussy cut that out. Is that it for my die? See, just something, you know what I mean? Just something cute there. You know, that's why I wanted to do a purple one too. I wanted to do the 3 colors. Oh, and this embossing folder, this teeny tiny embossing folder came with the Sidekick, and so I did that with it. I haven't finished my tag yet. It's just sitting there. And then this, this stamp, where is that? Here we go, guys. I got off of Amazon. Have you all ever tried the deep red cling stamps? They're made here in the USA. They're not cheap, I will say that, but to me, I have a feeling I'll use these the rest of my life. That's how good they are. And Handsome and I love books. I mean, we really love books. We don't read anything. You know, I mean, we don't listen to books on tape. We don't, although we understand how cool is that while you're driving and stuff. But we don't do that. We don't read any books on, you know, his iPad or anything like that on the computer. So for us to see old books, I mean, the older the better. And so when I saw this stamp, I was like, oh, I need it. And when I showed Handsome, he goes, oh, I really love this. You know, I always have to have my little stories in my journal whenever I do something. So this is the mama bee, and this is the little baby boy. And they're buzzing over the books. And the baby's like, Mom, why are we here? What are we doing? You don't see any flowers or pollen or anything. And she said, these books have stories in them. Sometimes they're educational, sometimes they're for entertainment. But there's stories in here. So he goes ahead of her and he goes, I'm going to look for the best one. And she says, oh, honey, they're all the best one, as long as you give them a try. So, yeah, I'm corny. Gee, I've earned the name, right? So, I bet you I've taken up way too much time. But at least we've gotten 2 decorations in all this time with me yapping to put on some pages. And I've got other things that need to go in here, but or that I made to go in here, and I'm not sure because we're already this fat. Do you know what I mean? See, now if I just, of course, these will be, you know, bound like this, so that it will be tighter in there. But we're already like so. But that's the way I like them. Y'all let me know if you have a chance to let me know that you know. Oh yeah, I talked way too much. Most people only stay for 5 minutes, and I get that. I really do. I understand, because everybody's got stuff to do. Everybody, I've been told, you know, you're on in the background while I'm doing my other stuff, so that's good. So, anywho, just thought while my darling Handsome is in the office today, I'd bring you all up here with me, and we keep going through and show you the Sidekick in case you all are needing something tiny. It works really well, and it's fun too. You know, it's really fun. And I'd like to thank you all for joining me today, and I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening. Bye-bye, everybody. Take good care.